Dr. Andrea Dawson. I'm the professor of violin and viola at MTSU School of Music, and today I'm here to talk a little bit about the 9 and 10 violin mid-state excerpts. I will play it first and then give a few comments about how to practice it to make it better. This excerpt is obviously displaying the most beautiful and big tone that we can use. And so that means using a lot of bow, making sure that we have a good contact point in terms of closeness to the bridge, using a lot of vibrato, playing in the string, etc. So to begin with, we want to make sure that when we're set to play, that our left hand is ready first, and that as we count ourselves in, 1, 2, 3, that your bow is on the string right before you start, because if not, we'll get a little funny sound. So that's the very first thing to practice. Also, obviously, we want beautiful intonation throughout. We're in the key of A major, which is a familiar key, but it's a good idea to practice your scale in A major before you start. And honestly, I would, if you have an ability to play a 3-octave scale, I would practice that, because this one does go into 5th position. The next thing I want to talk a little bit about are some fingerings that are marked in the part that I think maybe are a little unclear or not fingerings that I do. The first one is in measure 13. It says to go to a 3rd finger here, and I don't find this helpful, so I stay in 3rd position on a 2nd finger on the A, and then I shift up in the following bar to 5th position, but that's a matter of preference. The other fingering that I do a little bit differently than what is marked is in measure 15. I do that all in 5th position. So 3, 2, 2, 1. In the next bar, I shift down to 3rd position on the B. And then I borrow my 3rd finger for the E sharp as if it were an F natural. And then back to 2nd position as it says. So other than that, I think the fingerings work very well for me and I like them. The next spot that we're going to look at is our first little practice spot, which is in measures 2 and 3, mostly in 3. We have this 4th finger E that we have to hopefully nail perfectly coming from an open E. And I think that's worth practicing, because especially if we're a little bit nervous on our 4th finger is tense, we might not be as accurate as we would like to be. So we're going to just practice testing it. Remember to practice this. Matching that to the open E string. That's rather important. The next note that's a little bit of a tricky matter is this B sharp that maybe we have played a lot of B sharps and maybe we haven't, but my suggestion here is when we play this measure to start by not going directly to the B sharp, but doing it from actually the C sharp. So you'll see this suggested practice technique of going first to the C sharp and then to the and then to the B sharp. We know where this note is, and then we know that B sharp is simply a half step back from C sharp. And then the next step would be to do the same thing, but place the B sharp in the rest, and then we're ready to do it directly. So that's my suggestion. Or whenever we have a note that feels unfamiliar, that we think we don't know where it is, it's usually close to something else that we do know, in this case is C sharp. The next spot to look at is all these shifts into fifth position. We've got really two of them. We've got them one in measure 10 where we have to find the E kind of from nowhere with the third finger, and then in 14 where we're shifting from another finger. So as we're practicing bar 10, I think the most important thing is just for us to really acknowledge that we have to practice feeling where our fifth position is. And in order to do that, we need to understand a little bit about what our hand looks like in fifth position. So, and I'm going to turn around so you can see. When I'm in first position and third position, my thumb is nicely on the side of the instrument. When I go to fifth position, my thumb is going to come under the neck so that my fingers then can be well over the string and access equally so all my fingers can reach and vibrate. So I call this the pivot. So we're going to practice shifting from the A up. So there's from that angle. Here's from this angle. And here's from the front. Make sure we do that nice and freely. You can also shift up to the harmonic. So we get a sense of relaxation up here. And being able to tap that note really helps us release our hand position and not feel like we're squeezing in for dear life, right? So that's the first thing we want to do. And then we're going to practice coming from the open string, and I advocate for maybe trying first with the harmonic before setting it down. It will feel a little different, but you can adjust. I missed it that time. Then I get comfortable with that pattern. In measure 14, on the other hand, we are going to add a shifting note. I would suggest that we shift up to the G sharp from the E using the second finger so that we can really feel the arm motion of the shift. We can speed this up before hiding it. And then we're ready to put all of that together, etc. And those are mostly the elements that I think we want to talk about. Getting to fifth position, really practicing that, to be comfortable with that note. And other than that, use your most wonderful vibrato and practice for intonation. Make sure that you also really practice with the metronome, because when we get nervous and we see something that's long and slow, we're very tempted to speed up or cut some of the notes off. So make sure that you're really counting fully in 4, that you're feeling the full value of every note. And I wish you all the best luck in your audition. Be brave and practice well. Thank you very much.